To grounded flights.
They don't give me any alternate offers right now. I'm struggling since morning. The customer service is not picking the phone. I tried here and this is it's cancelled. They can do anything.
The notices say strikes 5 a.m. Friday, and 9 o'clock last night, after I'd checked in and everything much earlier, got an email saying canceled.
We're scheduled to fly back next Thursday, and obviously we're worried if the strike goes on that long, we have no way of getting back. We obviously have kids that need to get to school.
The WestJet pilot strike deadline may still be hours away, but as you just saw, frustrated travelers are already experiencing cancellations. The airline has canceled 98 flights already today and is starting to take down its network in anticipation of the strike happening. Both the company and the union are still at the bargaining table, however. The union representing the pilots says WestJet Group, which includes Swoop, loses an average of 30 pilots a month. The union's asks include pay that is more in line with the pilots south of the border. Earlier this year, Delta Airlines pilots got a deal for a 34% raise over the next 4 years. The company, WestJet, insists the wages demanded by the union would impact the airline's ability to provide affordable travel to Canadians. Let's bring in Captain Tim Perry, who's president of the Airline Pilots Association of Canada. Hi, Captain Perry. Good to see you. Thank you for making the time.
My pleasure, Vassy.
We are, as I mentioned in the introduction, just a few hours away, or a number of hours away from the deadline that's looming, 3 a.m. Mountain, I think it is. Can you characterize for us where negotiations stand?
Yeah, we're still at the table. We bargained well into the night last night and up early again today. We've been bargaining, basically steady. We've been making progress. Both sides have been, it's fair to say, working very hard, but we're far apart on some of the priorities of the members in order to reach a fair collective agreement.
Far apart, a few hours out from the deadline doesn't sound great, I'm guessing, to a number of Canadians. Is it likely that pilots will be on strike?
It's one of those things that's best not predicted, because as long as the parties are at the table, that means progress is being made, and that's a good thing. We've put together what we think is fair. We analyzed the market and the economy, the ability of the employer to pay, and all the macroeconomics that go into this, and we're confident of what we're putting forward. We're putting our best foot forward right now at this late hour, but I don't think it's I think it's too early to say whether there will be a work action, a stoppage, or not.
The company, as I mentioned a few seconds ago, essentially says what you're asking for, and I'll ask you about the details of that in a second, but what you and your colleagues are asking for would make travel for Canadians unaffordable. They would have to pass on the costs of whatever kind of pay hike you're asking for to consumers. What is your response to that?
Well, basically, the WestJet pilots are 30, sometimes 40% behind the North American average and standard, and we understand that everything has a cost. But airlines in Canada, and specifically WestJet, are not entitled to discount labor. Every element of cost that goes into an airline is part of running a business, and I think Canadians understand that. Also, they understand that these jobs represent our careers, our livelihoods, and the futures for our families. Those are all things that go into this.
I know that when we've spoken in the past, and certainly some of your colleagues have talked about how in the United States, pilots there are earning or seeing raises like the one I mentioned at Delta, and American Airlines matched that of 34% over 4 years. Could you be blunt with Canadians? Is that what you are looking for?
What we're looking for is we're watching that happen. We've seen a big step forward in what is being offered across North America, and we don't want that delta to grow. We don't want the gap to grow between airlines across North America and us. So, I mean, it's fair to say that we're looking for increases, and but I don't think it's fair to say or characterize them just that way. There are a lot of important things that go into this collective agreement, including job security issues and scheduling items. We know that all of those things are important to our members, and they all represent goals and part of a fair collective agreement.
But is pay the major issue? Is that what is keeping the two parties the furthest apart?
Pay is absolutely part of really any collective agreement bargaining that I've ever been part of. But I really must stress that the issue of job security, WestJet pilots who work here want to have a future here, and the scheduling issues, flying under fatiguing schedules is an issue. We need these things addressed, and they're absolutely part of concluding a collective agreement here today.
WestJet has also talked about the differences in the markets, right? You're looking to be more aligned with what's happening in the United States. The size of those airlines, the customer base that they service, the market size, the scope of the market even alone is not really even comparable to Canada. We're a much smaller playing field. Should that not be reflected in ultimately what WestJet is able to offer you? Is it not understandable if it is?
Well, so I think a couple of things. First of all, airlines and the pay is scalable. We're not looking for a pay rise that's somehow represents the difference in size of airlines between Delta and WestJet. We know they're 5 times the size. That's not really characteristic of what's actually going on at the bargaining table here. Also, aviation is one of the most globalized industries that exists. The economies between Canada and the United States and the U.S. Canada, the U.S. and around the world, it's all connected. They're the same types of airplanes, same airports, same passengers, same types of ticket fees. So ticket costs, these things are all connected. They're all part of our economic and financial analysis that goes into our bargaining proposals. So I think that our bargaining proposals are well grounded in the economy and the industry and here in Canada.
Okay, I'll leave it there. Best of luck in those negotiations. Thanks, Captain Perry.
Thank you very much.